Welcome to The Social Angle, a podcast that helps promo pros gain an edge in the social media realm. I'm Vinny, and on this episode, I am joined by my colleague, Teresa Hagel, to talk about the latest social media platform on the block, BeReal, and if it's right for our industry. Yes, another social media network to deal with. Teresa, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. The reason I reached out to you is because you recently wrote an article about Be Real and whether or not the promo industry or any industry that there's branding in can benefit from this social media network. But before we get into the questions, I got a whole bunch of questions I want to pick your brain about. Can you just tell us a little bit about your background? How long you've been with ASI?
Sure, I have been with ASI for about 8 years now. I guess I started in 2014, so I think that's eight. I mean, I'm a writer, not a math person, so.
Same with me.
um, but yeah, I've been with the company for 8 years. I'm the executive editor of digital content. I write about apparel. I write about like tech and social media stuff, and also about sustainability. And before coming to ASI, I was a journalist at a couple of daily newspapers.
Okay. Yes, and as you mentioned, you do some tech writing. You do write about social media quite often, and that's basically why we're having this conversation today. You basically opened my eyes to this social network, which has been around for I think a year and a half now. I think it came out in early 2021, if I'm not mistaken. It's called Be Real, BE and then capital REAL. It's like one word, but Be Real. So, can you tell us a little bit about this new social media platform and what it's all about?
Sure. So I believe it's a French app. And I think that as of August, they say that it has 10 million daily active users. And it's got I think it's valued at like $600 million. So this is like a big thing. But the idea with Be Real is basically, it's supposed to be like an alternative to be more authentic. So it uses the front and the back camera, and at a certain time every day, like at a random time, you have 2 minutes to post whatever you're doing. So, for instance, this morning, I posted like a picture of myself holding a coffee cup. So it'll show my coffee cup, and then like in the corner, it'll show me pretty small. And sort of similar to like Snapchat and things like that, it's ephemeral. Like it only will stay up for a day. So you only have 2 minutes to post, and you're supposed to like basically when they give you the notification, you're supposed to drop what you're doing and just kind of show what's happening. So for me, it always seems to be like, oh, I'm sitting in front of a computer working. But other people maybe have more interesting lives than I do.
So, so basically, you get a random notification at any time during the day, correct?
Yep, yep. And then
And
so you don't have to do it like if you miss the window, like because obviously people are doing their own thing. Like you can post late, but it'll tell everyone like, oh, Teresa was 6 hours late posting. So I guess the idea is that you don't like they don't want you to be like curating and doing some kind of very like,
sure.
look, I'm out with the poppy seeds being an influencer. Like they don't want that kind of content. So you're kind of like tattled on if you wait too long, if you wait for the perfect moment to like post your
Right.
reel.
So basically, what it encourages you to do at a certain time of the day is send you a notification that you have 2 minutes to take a picture of what you are doing, and it takes a picture of you and
Mhm.
what's in front of your camera. So it
Yeah.
takes advantage of both sides of the camera to basically show your authentic self. So you have no time to prepare. There's no curation of your content. Um, so that people can actually see the real you. So
Yeah.
it's called Be Real. It wants to put an emphasis on reality instead of like what people want to curate and try to present as themselves, not their real authentic selves. Because we all know what social media is like. We try to get our best best side. We curate, we take a million pictures to post
Mhm.
one. Be Real is the opposite of that. They just want you to post whatever you're doing at that moment. Now let me ask you about these notifications. Is it possible that you get a notification at 4 a.m., or do they take into consideration that most people are sleeping between this time and they don't send notifications then?
You know what? I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen one like at a really, really weird time. They've been later at night, but not like when people are sleeping, I don't think.
Right.
But I read somewhere that they're random notifications, but they're not really random. Like there's some rhyme or reason. They're just not telling us what the algorithm or why they're choosing
Sure.
those times. So I'm not sure, but
Yeah, it seems very, very odd to me that it's so random like that.
Mhm,
But also that you do have the opportunity to post,
mhm.
but if you don't get it within that 2-minute window, it will say on the actual interface that you failed to meet that window, which can mean that you actually tried to come up with a better image than what you would have in that 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, there's like literally a countdown on the screen as you're trying to like take your photo. So I do still fall into the trap. I'm like, oh, I don't like that one, delete, and then like take two or three. But yeah, like you are kind of running against the clock once you open it.
Yeah. So there's some anxiety that you could get
Yeah,
from
which
Be
is
Real.
funny because I think that it's supposed to be like getting rid of the anxiety of having to be perfect and curated, but then it's creating a whole different
Another
anxiety.
level of anxiety. But I guess if you have no problems posting, then I think that you shouldn't care. It's like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't give a shit. I'm just gonna post, and I think that's really where the authenticity is with this app. It's like
mhm,
people who don't care, who don't really um, give a crap that they're going to look bad. It's morning time. Your hair is sticking up and whatever. They're going to be the ones that embrace it. Where the people who are, on Instagram curating all their images, may be resistant to an app like this. Now, I bring up Instagram. They're calling this the anti-Instagram app. Can
right.
you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, we sort of talked about this a little already in that it's looking for authenticity and like not that curated feed, which Instagram with all the influencers on it and just like that whole vibe has became something that was very like you have to have the perfect like grid and you have to you're kind of using these filters and you're kind of presenting your best possible life to people. It's not real. It might have like elements of reality, but it's not real. So this is sort of like stripping that all away. But the other thing is that, people are really mad at Instagram right now or have been because it keeps changing. It doesn't, it's always adding new features. It's always like, oh, now we're going to push reels and we're going to, add this and that. So there's been like this backlash to Instagram just in general. And I think this is like a lot of Gen Z and young people are flocking to Be Real and apps like that because partly because they've and we sort of actually we asked our interns about this when they were here and they talked about how they've spent most of their lives like in that rat race of chasing likes and cloud and they're kind of tired of it. So with Be Real and things like that, you're maybe targeting a smaller like group of friends, not like the internet as a whole. And you're just being yourself. You're not like trying to have anxiety of like presenting this perfect life. It's just like, this is what I'm doing right now. So it,
Yeah, and
it
I
has a different vibe.
I think it really comes across to me at least is a very personal social media network.
Mhm.
And you know, we talked about TikTok 4 years ago, and it was a very personal social media network. And what I mean by personal, it's like people, friends, they get on there and they just have a fun time before the brands, before the businesses got involved, and it seemed perfect just to have a good time, to kind of um, do your own thing, have fun, and then the brands came in. Like anything
Sure,
else, the
sandwich.
brands, yeah, the brands come in. And I look at Be Real and I think to myself, like, this is really a personal social media network. This looks like just people connecting with people, friends, family, just having a good time. And I want to talk about brands because you wrote the article. Do you see an opportunity for brands on this platform, advertising, any type of stuff like that, where brands can come in?
Yes and no. I mean, officially, I don't think you're allowed to post advertising. You're not allowed to advertise on Be Real. But of course, brands have figured
Sure.
out ways to do things. Like, for instance, I think Chipotle was one of the first companies to be on Be Real and to do something. They did um it was like this really simple thing. It was like a picture, like one of the employees had a picture of a fork in one part and then it was like a bag on the other camera that just had a promo code.
Right.
And they said that like within 30 minutes that promo code was all used up, like people had snapped it up. So things like that, like people they are experimenting with like little like doing little offers that are just show up on BeReal, and then you can kind of take advantage of it. I've seen lots of companies, take BeReal, like whether they're using BeReal or just like something similar, but take that kind of aesthetic, that vibe of like the picture in picture, and post it on other, like on Twitter and other
Sure. Sure.
social networks. Um, I think that, and like makeup companies have been using it a lot. I think it's the appeal is more, it's definitely more of like a behind the scenes kind of look at a company, or it'll be like actual employees just like hanging out at home will,
Right.
post
Right.
to it. So I think there's definitely, if you are trying to connect with younger audiences and it already kind of fits with your brand to be that, you give off that kind of authentic and like very uncurated, very low kind of low key vibe, then I think that I think there is opportunity for brands to be there. Um
But I don't think that the users want brands there at this point. I
no, I don't think, well, I mean, obviously people like snapped up that Chipotle offer right away.
For
So
sure.
so
I
I
mean, if
think
there's
I
something
think
in it for them, they're
yeah.
they're going to be interested. But I don't think, me personally, when I think of social media platforms and I think of Instagram, especially where, ads are just kind of overrunning the platform. And now we have TikTok where, for sure, um, the ads are coming in. And look, once they know that there's tons of eyeballs on something, the advertising is going to get in there. The
Yeah.
businesses are going to get there. The brands are going to get in there. There's no stopping that. And I think that, you know, we're having this conversation today because, it's building up a lot of momentum, and the brands, I'm sure, are going to start to get in there.
Yeah, and I mean they are like some, just not that many, but I actually find it's a little bit hard to find people and brands on Be Real. So I feel like, the people that are friending the brands like want to find them. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause it's not so simple to just like type in, because I was trying to find Chipotle so I could see this like,
Right.
well, I guess I wouldn't have seen the actual one they did, but I
Right.
wanted to see their thing and I couldn't find them. Like, so you kind of have to know what you're looking for. It's not,
Sure.
the search function, I don't think is very simple to use. It's not
So,
intuitive.
yeah, so it's possible that it's still in its infancy, in terms of development right now.
Yeah.
Probably, a small team still working on it. But I think as it grows more popular, they're going to throw more money to development, and the search will probably get better. But again, this, it's a network that is, like I said, it's very, very new, a year and a
Mhm.
half maybe, and it's starting to gain a lot of momentum with the younger users. And we just talked about brands getting in there. Yes, there are brands. You mentioned Chipotle. Uh, I don't know if how many brands are in there and how many brands are excited to sit around and wait all day for a notification, um, for them to post.
Yeah.
That to me, I feel is a disadvantage for brands
It's a
for
different strategy, right?
the different
Or
strategy,
maybe it's
right?
not a strategy at all. I mean, I guess, like, if you're in promo and you wanna try it out, like, the one good thing is you don't have to put that much time into it necessarily, you know what I mean? Like, you could just, you have those 2 minutes, just try, see what happens, Like, you're not,
Right,
you're the I t part of, like, what I think is appealing is that you don't have to spend a ton of time on it every day.
right,
So, it is kind of low stakes. It's like you put if you go on there, you're what are you wasting, like 2 minutes of your day,
right.
then you're done. So if it's, you don't have to spend a lot of time or money on it. It
Let me
may not
ask
give
you.
you a big return, but
Let me ask you this. So, is it possible that you could take pictures in advance and then use them when the notification comes in, or do they make you actually take the picture in that 2-minute window frame?
hmm, I'm actually not sure. I didn't see an option to, you know,
Save.
save a photo.
Okay.
It seems like they really just want you to take the photo at that time. So I'm not sure if you're able to save something up for later. I think it might be a more in the moment kind of thing. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't, like, obviously I've done some research on it. I've written about it. I've played with it a little bit, but I'm not like an expert on it.
Right. I'm always looking for ways to hack the system here. So, like to me, I feel like that would be in a brand's best interest
Yeah.
if you have to wait around for a notification, have images ready. But I'm not sure if that's possible because I'm not on the network now. You are, and we'll talk about that in a second. But one of the things I read about, and I think is a really cool aspect of this social media platform
Mhm.
is something that's called a real emoji.
Yes.
Can you explain these and how they would be used in Be Real?
Yes. So a real emoji is basically like an emoji, except it's your actual face. It's a tiny little picture of you that you can take to like react to something. So I actually, so I told you I use it, but I barely use it. Somebody actually did give me a real emoji today. It's really just, I don't know if you can see,
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
a thumbs
The
up,
thumbs up, yeah.
yeah, she did her own photo. So it's just like, it's like a fun way to react to something that's a little bit more custom and personalized than just, the emojis that everyone's used to.
So
I have not done it. I
y-
have not reacted to anyone yet.
so you have all these emojis. You have the crying emoji, the laughing emoji,
Mhm,
the thumbs up. So basically, what you're doing is you're you're creating those emojis based on what they are. So you could be
mhm,
laughing hysterically. Instead of using the emoji, the laughing emoji, you actually create one of yourself.
yeah,
If you like something, you have the thumbs up. You create one of yourself, like the image that you just posted.
mhm,
And if somebody posts a Be Real, I don't know what they call them, posts, or we have tweets and we have TikToks, but I don't know. Is it a Be Real? I don't know what you would call it.
I
But
don't
you
know.
can react to it with your own personal real emoji. And I think that's
Mhm,
a pretty cool um, feature of that app that
yeah,
I would be interested in trying out. I think that's kind of fun. It's interactive. You're using yourself to engage with brands, friends, family. So to me, I think that's a nice little feature that would pique my curiosity and get in there and just try it out.
yeah,
Unless you want to be anonymous, which I think a lot of people in the social media game like to be. They like to remain anonymous.
mhm,
Certainly, you wouldn't use your own image, but of course, I could see them using other images,
yeah, yeah,
um, for real emojis. So I could see that creating another problem. So it's interesting. So this whole app is based on the premise of being notified. The app notifies you. You have 2 minutes to post a picture, and then that's it. To me, I feel like this is, like you said, it's supposed to take the curation out of your social media feed, make you more real. But to me, I think it adds a level of anxiety. What are your thoughts? You've used the app for how long now?
So I don't know. Did I write the article? I got it right after I decided to write the article because I was curious. I was like, well, if I'm going to write about it, I need to kind of understand or understand how it works and not just like read about it. So it's been a couple months, and I'll be honest, I don't post every day. I
Right.
For a little while I was posting, but then, like I said, it's usually me just sitting at a computer working. So, and I also, because I'm old, I don't have any friends on Be Real. I have one friend, and it's my 20-year-old niece, and
Hmm.
she doesn't post anymore. She's like, "Oh yeah, that was fun. I used to do that," but she's already moved on from
She's
it.
already moved on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I'm just posting to nobody. And you can also like you can either have the photos just be like among your friend group, or you can have it on discovery mode, I guess, so anyone can see it. So the one I posted this morning, since we were doing this talk, was on discovery mode, and I did actually, that was the first time I ever got somebody like responding to one of my photos. So I don't know, maybe I'll get addicted now and, and have to be
You
like
never know,
posted all
or
the time.
it could have a rebirth. I
Mhm,
know that there are social media platforms like Clubhouse when it first
mhm,
came out. Was kind of muted. It didn't
mhm.
do well. People didn't really know about it. Then the pandemic hit, and people were forced to have conversations through the computer, and that became a real important social media platform, and it really kind of gave rise to social audio. So who knows? We'll see what happens with Be Real. Um, our own Nate says, I think it personally might be one of the more genuine social media apps that I've heard of in a long time, and he's right. I think there is some authenticness to this. Like, to me, I feel like a lot of the social media platforms that have come out, they all try to emulate each other. It's
Mhm.
like, and then social audio comes out, and now all the platforms want to do social audio, and we're all, it's all like the same thing. And then this app comes out, and it's like the antithesis of what
Yeah.
social media has
I
become.
know, but they're already trying to copy it. So I
I
think
know, I know.
Snapchat and Instagram, I think, are both working on their own versions of the front and back facing camera. So what is that gonna, like, ruin it for everyone, or is it just gonna be like, "Whatever, we don't care that they're doing it, we like it on BeReal," you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I don't know what I don't really it's hard to say, like you said, like, TikTok, 4 years ago was I wouldn't have imagined it getting as big as it has. So, but at the same time, Clubhouse sort of, it surged and now is like nobody really talks about that
Right.
anymore. So, is this gonna like what is this gonna be? Is this gonna be the next TikTok, or is it gonna be like a Clubhouse thing that's perfect for some people and some things, but
Right.
becomes irrelevant? I don't know.
No, I mean they could say that they were the trendsetter for real authentic social media content. But again, if Instagram adopts it, if another social media platform adopts it, where there's already millions of people, billions of people, whatever you want to talk about, it's like, do
Mhm.
they really want to go over to a separate social media network when they can do it on Instagram? And I think that's going to be the challenge. That's the challenge that Clubhouse faced once Twitter launched Spaces. They lost a lot of market share because people would rather be in a network that they're familiar with, that they have a following on, than start a new network and have to create a new following. So yeah, I mean, Be Real, they may have something there. It's to be seen. I think, give it a few more months, a year maybe. But what is your personal take on whether or not this app is right for the promotional products industry?
I think that as it is, it's probably not something that they need to get too worried about. But I think it's more of a harbinger of like how social media is going. Like, I think it's worth understanding that people are tired of overly curated things. People are tired of that very like influencer, like fake kind of lifestyle. So even if you have no intention or no need to go on to Be Real, I think it's worth paying attention to what's happening with it, because that might change what you're doing in other, apps. You know what I mean? Like, if this is what people want, if people want that more authentic, genuine kind of social media presence, they're going to want it everywhere. So
Right.
even if you don't become, a Be Real member or person, I think that you might find yourself treating other apps differently because of this trend.
Yeah, I agree. I don't. Uh, 4 years ago, like I said, I did a podcast. We talked about TikTok, and I was adamant. I was like, this app will never be right for this industry. And 4 years later, I was wrong. I can flat out say I was wrong. I'm gonna be that guy again. I'm gonna say this app this is not right for our industry. It's just not. I don't ever see, even if this catches on, I'm not sure that brands are gonna really jump into this game as much. I mean, yes, it's going to show an authentic side to brands, but the fact that you don't know when the notifications are coming to post, it's too unstable. It's To me, I think it's more of a fad than it is a trend. It's a nice idea that I think other social media platforms, like you said, Instagram, will pick up on. And then Nate said they'll probably end up being bought out for $1 billion. I wouldn't. Nate, yes, they're going to get bought out, but I don't think it's going to be $1 billion. Maybe, you know,
Well, they're valued at 600 million right now. So
well, that's impressive because
yeah.
I can't imagine it's worth that much. But again, who knows? I don't know how many people are on it. I don't know how this younger generation is reacting to
Well,
it.
the other thing to think about is, so right now it's very popular with young people. If like with Facebook, if a bunch of old people start like flocking onto it, it's probably not going to be the cool you know, the cool
Right.
site to be on anymore. So I'm on there, so I'm already making it less cool just by being there.
Well,
So I
I
think
mean, there's this morbid fascination with these new networks now. I think it's good for us to have a toe in the water, testing them out. Remember years ago, I tested out Snap, and I was like, no, this ephemeral content doesn't work for us. And I still agree with that. I don't see much use for ephemeral content. I'm not a big fan of stories. I never have been. Um, but I'm not. I'm me. That's my personal opinion. I think there is utility for that. I just don't think it's going to be real. So to me, I think thumbs down for be real. That's my
that's
personal
your real
take.
emoji.
That's my real emoji. I'm going to give it a thumbs down. Look, it's great on a personal level. I think that if you're younger, even if you're older, and this is something that you're really into, authenticity, transparency, you want to put yourself out there, um, you know, yes, do it. I think that could be a fun thing. But for brands, I don't get it. I don't. No, not for me. Not for me. Plus, I think most of our, especially in this industry, a lot of industries, but even in this industry, I'm starting to see a lot of adoption of TikTok. People are they're now invested in TikTok. They
Mhm.
don't want to get invested in something new right now because I'm seeing promo industries in droves starting to get on to TikTok, and it's 4 or 5 years after TikTok first came out, and we're going to see a big leap to TikTok in the next year, year and a half, 2 years. Be real is not something that people are going to want to jump on as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's always that thing of like, how many social networks can you really devote your time to?
Right.
I
Right.
mean, the one thing this has, um, going for it is that you don't have to spend a lot of time on it. But you're right, it is so random. Like, how do you can't really plan for
Right. Now Nate has a great look. I'm like mush from what is that? The Bronx now. Vin betting against the app is the surest buy signal I've ever seen. Yes, I'm the cooler here. I'm the one who's take the opposite of what I say. It usually works to your benefit. If my fantasy football career is any proof, that
it.
is 100% true. Don't do what I do. So yeah, we'll see. To be continued. Maybe in a year, 2 years, we'll have another podcast about Be Real, and I will change my tune.
And in
Um,
the meantime, if anyone wants to be my friend on Be Real, you can
you
be.
do you have a handle?
Let
Like
me
what?
see. What is my handle? I don't even know. I
It's
think
so
it's
weird. I've never been on the app. I've just read about it. I don't know what it's about, but how do you find people? It's
I'm the gel 13.
the gel 1 3. Okay. All right. Well, everyone who is interested in getting to Be Real, that's not me right now. The gel 1 3.
Yeah, if you wanna see pictures of me holding up a coffee cup, typing on my computer, like, all kinds of great content.
Yeah, there you go. Watching cartoons with your daughter. Hey, look, whatever
My Little
whatever
Pony.
you're doing at that time, if that's something you're interested in, then go for it. Um, anyway, Teresa, thank you so much for being here today. If anyone wants to get a hold of you, how can they do so?
I am on Twitter at, I think, Teresa Hegel.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
on TikTok. I don't know what my TikTok is, but I'm everywhere, and I'm mostly
yeah,
as Teresa Hegel, so you can probably find me.
there you go. And asicentral.com, you can
Oh, yeah,
find
that's true. That's where I
Teresa.
actually do my professional things, where I write.
Yeah. So you're there too. All of your articles in one place. Anyway, again, Teresa, thank you for joining me today for a little conversation about Be Real, and we'll see you next time on the Social Angle.